Welcome to r/IDontWorkHereLady, where we share stories about folks that are mistaken for employees by irate customers. Thank you, friends, for subscribing to the channel and for so many likes. The first story: Russian woman thought I was a manager and I gave her $3. The second story: manager did not help me and now he's solving his own problem. The third story: client tries to pull some macho tactic, so I'll get his drink, but I don't work there anymore. On to the first story. This encounter happened to me 5 hours ago. Some background. I'm a banker and usually wear the standard suit and tie when I go to work. I say usually because on occasion the AC unit at my branch goes down from time to time, and our manager doesn't enforce the dress code when it's 95 degrees outside and the AC's down. On those occasions, we can leave our blazers at home and roll up the sleeves of our button-downs. On one such day, today, I had plans to meet up with friends of mine at a CVS. That's a little far from me, but I didn't mind the trip. So I came to that CVS a little early, so I had to wait maybe 15 minutes. I didn't have much to do, so I guess I was just doing some window shopping. Not really interested in buying anything, but did want to see what they had on sale. A few of the people that worked there knew me and spoke to me for a bit, since my friend was working there throughout all of college, and is friends with a few of them outside of work where our paths crossed. To the outside observer, I guess a guy dressed semi-professionally talking to employees at this CVS, it might seem like I'm the manager or something, since a few people came up to me asking me where I can find this or that product. Since I was looking around, I knew some of the answers, so I just told them where to go, and didn't go into detail about me not even being an employee. This is where it happened. A middle-aged Russian woman comes up to me. This woman just screamed off the boat. She had a thick accent. She was wearing fake designer everything and had an attitude like every second extra I take to answer her is a precious second I took from her super important life. She asked me where the big bottled water is. Since I just passed it 2 aisles ago, I told her, and just went on looking around, waiting for my friend who's just changing in back. Next thing I know, I hear shouting in the front of the store, so like a few others, I slowly walk towards the noise to see what's going on. It was the same Russian lady screaming her lungs out at the poor new cashier, who only started a few weeks ago and was in training to replace my friend. This lady was screaming because she wanted to buy 2 cases of water with a coupon she had. This coupon would have given her those 2 cases for 40% off, maybe saving her at most $2. But she was making a scene to the point where this new girl's eyes were already watering, and this woman acted like she's losing thousands of dollars. The reason for this is that her coupon expired 4 months prior, and she didn't see the date. At this point, this woman looks around and spots me, and in an angry rage basically turns to me and starts screaming. The convo goes a bit like this. Lady, that girl's stupid. She doesn't know how to do her job. You come and get her away from me. Me, ma'am, I'm sorry, but I don't work. Lady cuts me off. I'm talking now. You'll listen to me when I'm done. You'll help me. Lady, I thought this was a big store, not some little marketplace. When I come with a coupon, I want it used. Me, okay, but I don't work here. Lady, cuts me off again. What did I just say? When I'm talking to you, do not interrupt. At this point, some of the other employees who knew me are half in shock, and some of the others who I know pretty well are trying to hold back a grin, since they know I don't work there and want to see what I will do. Lady, I came with this coupon. As you can see, it says 40% off, and that idiot cashier is saying it's no good. Me, may I talk? Lady, what? Me, the coupon you're pretty much pressing against my face says valid until 3/24/2019. Also, I don't work. Lady cuts me off for the third and final time. You're lying. If you wanted to, you can take it and give me the discount, but you don't want to because you're a disgusting corrupt pig who shouldn't even have this job. She immediately takes her phone, calls her husband, and in Russian starts screaming over the phone, pretty much saying that I'm a moron, I'm full of SH, my mother didn't raise me right, and that my mom and dad are even probably related so I didn't come out right. So, I am in fact Russian myself. I don't have any kind of an accent because I came to America when I was 2 years old, but I was still raised in Russian and am fluent. At this point, the stuff she was saying got me seeing a little red, so I took this lady's phone, and in Russian said to her husband, "Excuse me, sir, but I suspect that your wife is in fact the inbreed moron, as she's been screaming at me for the last 5 minutes, without letting me get a word in, so I can tell her I don't even work here. She came in the store with an expired coupon that would save her $3 and is about to commit murder because she can't read the part that says it expired 4 months ago. If she needs the savings so bad, maybe she should stop buying bootleg designer. It might save her the extra $3 she needs. Good luck to you in life, sir. If she's this shameless in public, God help you at home." Then I hung up the phone. Her mouth was about to hit the floor, she was so speechless. I think partly due to the fact that I had the nerve to do that, and the other part was because I actually understood everything she was saying and replied in Russian. I handed her the phone, reached into my pocket, took out the $3 that I got back as change from buying lunch earlier in the day, and slowly dropped them on the floor in front of her face. In English, I said, "If you're that poor and mentally disabled, I don't mind helping, so pick it up and enjoy your water." I turned around and walked towards the door, where my friend was waiting and watching in shock. I walked out with the swagger of Clooney and DiCaprio combined, knowing I just put that lady in her place better than anyone ever will. The few people that were around watching were mostly smiling. Some of the younger ones cheered me on. Just before I started writing this, I got off the phone with my friend, who was texting her now ex-coworkers about all this. They said after I left, this woman was in shock for a good few minutes. Her husband kept calling, but she didn't answer. She was just looking around embarrassed AF, as everyone was looking at her. Then she picked up the $3 I threw down for her and slowly started walking towards the door. The next story is, I used to work here. Now solve your own problems. A little over a decade ago, I worked for the local hardware outfit as the storeman/stores manager. I took the job because it was local, paid okay, and was supposed to be relatively stress-free. Unfortunately, the reality of it was that the assistant manager, Colin, was a D-head with an inferiority complex who had it in for me because I was more qualified than he was, although I had absolutely no interest in climbing the corporate ladder or taking his job. The job itself was overtasked and understaffed, and things were only getting busier, as there was a building boom happening in the area at that time. As a result, I quickly ended up being run off my feet every day, trying to keep up with the constant influx of goods and outgoing orders. To make matters worse, the overall manager, John, decided to reassign my 2 off-siders as delivery staff, leaving me on my own. When I protested, I was told to solve my own problems. I somehow kept up with the workload, but knowing this was not going to work in the long run, I continued in my attempts to get more staff in my area. Even just one off-sider would have made a huge difference. I tried reasoning with John, saying, "What if I get sick or injured? How will you get the orders done then?" His solution was that he would have some of the casual staff from the front retail area fill in if that happened. I laughed in his face and suggested that they could not find their own A's using both hands. Probably not the best way to handle things. Once again, I was told to solve my own problems. Okay then, fine, I'll do just that. The situation continued, becoming more difficult each week. The incoming goods were increasing in volume to keep up with demand. I think 2 semi-trailers per day. And as outgoing orders were to take priority, the incoming goods began piling up. Colin decided to rear his ugly head and make a fuss about stock not being checked in and stored on time, and in one of our more robust discussions, I seriously considered rearranging his face and told him so. He decided to go on an early lunch, run away, and hid from me in his office for the rest of the week. That was the day I realized I need to get out of this place. As for solving my problems, well, obviously I was looking for a new job. I answered an ad for correctional officers and attended a meeting for applicants, then sat the psych tests, interviews, and was finally accepted for the training to begin in 1 month. Perfect timing. The next Monday, I walked into John's office and gave 2 weeks' notice. John was absolutely appalled that I would consider leaving such a good job. Now, you'd think a smart manager would immediately take steps to cover my position and begin training a replacement. Nope, nothing happened for the next week and a half, until on my last Thursday, John finally showed up with a replacement, some entirely forgettable teenager who plainly had no chance of keeping up. I trained him as best I could, and next day said my goodbyes. 2 months later, I walked in as a customer, flush with my new job money. The place was an utter mess. There was SH everywhere, unprocessed goods still in sealed boxes, pallets of sheeting just dumped in the truck yard, and no one could find anything. The original guy I trained was nowhere to be seen, and 4 new young guys with haunted-looking faces were madly scrambling about, trying to sort their SH out. No one knew where anything was, where anything goes, or even how to do a basic invoice check. Total disaster, which brought a warm glow to my evil black told-you-so heart. Upon seeing me, John quickly pulled me aside and asked if I can help out and show the new guys what to do. I took great pleasure in reminding him that I had repeatedly warned him this could happen, and that not only did I no longer work here, but that he will have to, and I quote, solve your own problems. And the last story is, I don't work here anymore. I used to be a waiter at a small but popular sushi restaurant. During those dark times, I was subject to several customers who did their utmost to push the margin of the customer is king. One such customer, who shall henceforth be known as Dan, was a real fella. He would come in and do his best to be a bee. Some notable examples are showing up 10 minutes before close to demand full meal service, tipping exactly $0 on a $126 tab, and telling his wife how the big dumb waiter should have gone to school. I had gone to school and got a useless effing degree. My mistake, but the judgment was rude and hurtful nonetheless. Dan and those like him love to pick on servers. I personally think that the dead look in his wife's eyes and the howler monkeys he claims are children may also be a cause or result of his SH personality. So, I endured people like Dan because I had a baby on the way, and my wife had struggled immensely to support us during a time where I couldn't work. Well, to cut it short, I finally escaped customer service hell and get myself a fancy new job with salary, benefits, and a huge path for upwards mobility. I move away and my life is wonderful. I decide to visit family back home and end up sitting at my old restaurant. My coworkers loved me, so it was always fun to go back in and just have a good time. Of course, tipping 20% or more. Cue that night, as I sit with my wife and daughter, Dan comes in. His misbehaved wombats are of course screaming and running around, as his wife does her best Bran Stark impersonation. He sits at a table directly across from the dining area, and I literally don't care. He's out of my life, and I don't even want to waste the effort to think ill of him. After the meal, I walk over to the sushi bar, which is next to his table. I complimented my friends on how great the food was, and asked them how life is, etc. I noticed Dan eyeballing me. I can see that he's literally staring at me. He had a large empty bottle of his usual Japanese beer, Kirin. I bid my friends a good evening, and began to walk back, taking the route around his table this time, since he wants to play I Spy with my back. I cross his bubble and he reaches out and grabs my arm. I'm not a big guy, but I'm bigger than Dan. I look at his stupid, smug, round little face and ask him as calmly as possible what the hell he's doing. My beer's empty. I told female waitress, and she said she'd be right back. It's been half an hour. Give me that beer. He's still holding my wrist this whole time. Now, my hometown is rural. Lots of country boys, and this fella Dan, he was very rural. I usually love their down-home attitudes, but when they're D's, it's all the way. I calmly but firmly grab Dan's wrist with my free arm and remove it from my own. No, I don't work here anymore, Dan. Get your own effing beer, and do not touch me again. Dan was nearly speechless. I say nearly because I was already walking away when he said I was rude and an idiot, and that he was friends with the owner. I don't know if he was or not, but frankly it wouldn't have mattered. I just laughed, making a show of it at this point, and told him he should get to that beer before he makes a fool of himself. I got my family, said goodbye to a couple more people, and made sure to smile at Dan just one more time before I left. His kids hardly seemed to notice anything over their mission to fling rice at the floor, and Dan looked smaller, almost frail. It may have been the adrenaline, but I could have sworn his wife looked just a little less vacant. I hope you enjoyed these stories, and if you liked it, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button.